you crossed it. Maybe it happened quietly. Maybe it was a random Tuesday morning. You're getting ready for work, you open your portfolio app out of habit, and the number staring back at you is six figures, $100,000 in assets, built by you. No inheritance, no lucky break, just the system we laid out in parts 1 and 2, and the discipline to run it. And here's what I need you to understand before anything else today. Everything changes now. Getting to 100K was first gear, maximum personal effort, slow, grinding forward progress. Every dollar you deployed felt manual. Every month you stayed disciplined felt like a battle. That was first gear, and you won. But here's the thing about the journey from 100K to $1 million. The math works differently now. You don't just need to work harder. You need to pull 3 levers that weren't available to you before. Lever 1, tax alpha. Lever 2, anti-fragile diversification. Lever 3, the leverage stack. Most people climbing from 100K to 1 million only pull one lever, or none. They just keep doing what worked before, contributing, saving, waiting. And while that eventually gets you there, this video is about doing it years faster by pulling all 3 simultaneously. By the time this video ends, you'll understand exactly how. Let's get into it. Before we get tactical, I want to show you the math that's going to make everything in this video feel urgent. Here's the baseline. You're starting at $100,000, contributing $1,000 a month, averaging a 10% annual return, no tax optimization, no leverage, no changes to the system. Year 5, $249,000. Year 10, $547,000. Year 16, $1,059,000. Millionaire. Time to 1 million? 16 years. 16 years, that's not bad. That's genuinely respectable. But now, watch what happens when you pull all 3 levers. Tax optimization, saving $15,000 a year and redeploying it, a rental property adding $600 a month in cash flow, and a business adding $1,500 a month in profit. Year 5, $402,000. Year 8, $616,000. Year 10, $1,043,000. Millionaire. Time to 1 million? 10 years. Time saved? 6 years. 6 years. Not from working harder, not from taking more risk, from engineering the system you already have. That's what this video is about. And one more thing before we move on, because this number matters psychologically. The journey from 100K to 200K feels about as hard as 0 to 100K. But from 700K to 800K, the market is doing most of the lifting. By the time you're sitting at $900,000, a single average market year adds $90,000 to your net worth without you touching a single thing. The flywheel you built doesn't just maintain speed, it accelerates. Now let's talk about how to make it spin faster starting today. Lever 1, and I'm going to argue it's the highest ROI change you can make to your financial life right now. Most investors obsess over finding slightly better investments. They chase that extra 1% in returns. But here's what nobody tells you. A 3 to 5% improvement in tax efficiency, which is completely within your control, has a bigger long-term impact than almost any investment decision you'll ever make. Same portfolio, same returns, different tax strategy, $342,000 difference over 20 years. Let me show you 4 specific strategies right now. The IRS taxes investments differently depending on how long you hold them. Sell a stock after 11 months, that gain is taxed as ordinary income, potentially 22 to 37%. Hold it for 12 months and 1 day, long-term capital gains rate, maximum 20%. For many middle-income investors, that rate is 15%. And for people in lower income years, sabbaticals, early retirement, career transitions, it can drop to 0%. Here's one of the most underused tools in investing. Tax loss harvesting means deliberately selling investments that are currently down, locking in that loss on paper to offset the taxable gains you have elsewhere in your portfolio. You immediately reinvest the Fund B proceeds into a similar but not identical fund to keep your market exposure. The $1,200 you saved, it keeps compounding. Done consistently, $2,000 to $5,000 per year in savings, over 20 years, that's an additional $115,000 to $287,000 in your portfolio, from a strategy most investors have never heard of. Once your Bucket 3 business is generating meaningful profit, roughly $50,000 a year or more, your legal entity structure becomes a tax lever. Changing from a sole proprietorship to an S corporation allows you to split your income into two streams: a W-2 salary that you pay payroll tax on, and a profit distribution that doesn't trigger those same taxes. And here's one more, the one that real estate investors use to create tax losses that don't actually exist in real life. The IRS allows you to deduct the gradual wear and tear of your rental property every year, even if the property is actually appreciating in market value. A $280,000 depreciable basis spread over 27.5 years gives you a $10,122 annual deduction. If your property only cash flows $6,000 a year, you've just created a $4,182 paper loss that shelters other income from tax. Cash flow plus $6,000, real money in your pocket, depreciation minus $10,122, a paper loss, doesn't exist in cash, IRS taxable income minus $4,182, a loss on paper. Your bank account is richer. The IRS sees a loss. That is completely legal. That is how real estate has made more millionaires than almost any other asset class. Lever 1 is pulled. Let's move. I need to destroy a myth that is costing investors at the 100K stage enormous amounts of money. Owning 500 different stocks is not diversification. When the 2008 crash hit, the 2020 crash hit, the 2022 crash hit, virtually every stock in every diversified portfolio fell together because they all respond to the same economic conditions. That is correlation, and it is the enemy of a truly protected portfolio. Real diversification means owning assets that respond to different conditions. When one falls, another is rising, or at minimum, standing still. That's how you build what I call an anti-fragile portfolio. Here's what makes this architecture powerful. When a recession hits and your index funds drop 35 to 40%, your gold and tips are rising. Your rental income is still arriving every month. Your liquidity buffer is sitting there as dry powder, ready to buy those same crashed index funds at a 40% discount, massively accelerating your recovery. An anti-fragile portfolio doesn't just survive volatility, it's designed to exploit it. Lever 2 is pulled. Now, this is the lever that makes people nervous, and I understand why. In part 1, we talked about the debt that destroys people, the truck payment, the mortgage on a house they couldn't afford, the golden handcuffs. But that was consumer debt, debt used to buy liabilities, things that depreciate, things that take money out of your pocket every month. Productive leverage is the opposite. It's debt used to buy assets that generate more income than the debt costs to service. And it is the mechanism that separates people who gradually accumulate wealth from people who engineer it at speed. Let me give you 2 specific strategies. BRRRR stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. It is the strategy that allows you to recycle the same pool of capital across multiple real estate acquisitions, instead of needing a fresh down payment for every property you want to buy. Here's how it works in real numbers. One pool of capital, each cycle leaves a rental property behind, generating passive income with none of your money locked inside it. That is leverage as a wealth tool. Here is a strategy that wealthy people use quietly and almost nobody in the middle class knows. They don't sell assets to access money, they borrow against them. Why? Because when you sell an appreciated asset, you trigger a capital gains event immediately, unavoidably. But when you take out a loan against that asset, a loan is not income, it is not taxable. The interest on that loan, your rental property's cash flow can cover it, your business income can cover it. Meanwhile, your $500,000 portfolio keeps compounding as if the loan never happened. Now, and this is important, leverage amplifies both gains and losses. Every major wealth story that ended in catastrophe involved leverage without guardrails. So here are the non-negotiables. The leverage safety rules. All 5 are non-negotiable. Rule 1, never leverage above 50% LTV on any asset. Rule 2, the leveraged asset must cash flow enough to service its own debt. Rule 3, never leverage the liquidity buffer, ever. Rule 4, one major leverage event at a time, stabilize before the next one. Rule 5, stress test every position for a 30% value decline before committing. Lever 3 is pulled. Let me bring everything together with the number that matters most. How long does this actually take? And here's what's waiting for you when you get there. Before the CTA, I want to leave you with something you can carry out of this video and apply today. Everything we've covered in all 3 parts of this series, the gap, the buckets, the tax levers, the leverage stack, the diversification architecture, it all collapses into a single equation. Build a wide gap. Make that capital move fast through productive assets. Give it time to compound. Keep as much as legally possible from the government, and stop doing the things that reset the clock. That is it. That is the entire game. Part 1 showed you the trap. Part 2 handed you the foundation. And today, Part 3 gave you the acceleration engine. There is one video left. Part 4, the exit number. It answers the question this entire series has been building toward. What is the exact number in dollars of passive monthly income at which you are genuinely, mathematically free? How do you calculate it for your specific life? What do you do the day you hit it? And what does the version of your life on the other side of that number actually look like? Part 4 is the end of the map, and I'll see you there. If this shifted something, subscribe. Hit the notification bell, because Part 4 is the one you've been working toward since the moment you felt the salary ceiling above your head. Let's finish what we started.